Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dominic D'Angelo, and it is Brass Ring Media. It is the daily wrestling hotline for July 15th, 2025. I feel like July 15th holds some significance to me, but I don't know what exactly. I did look up this day in history today in wrestling, and this was actually, I think, the day that Eric Bischoff debuted in WWE as the Raw GM or something. I think that's it. So, controversy creates cash. Well, today we're going to talk about something else that potentially is creating cash. And it did create a lot of buzz at the very least this weekend. And I predicted it. That's Evolution 2. Man, what a show. And what a statement made. I said early on that, and people were being critical of the amount of promotion, the amount of thought and story build that this show was getting. But I was always of the mindset that it didn't really need it. And what you were going to get, you did get some promotion. You did get some story build. It wasn't to a level of like, hey, probably what we're getting here at SummerSlam or, what we were getting, even for Saturday Night's Main Event to an extent. But listen, that was the last show of the weekend. It's also speaks for itself in terms of what it's selling. An all-women's pay-per-view, PLE event. So, and you know what? I think, there was a lot of online critics about how this show didn't get a lot of promotion or eyes on it. But I think you could make an argument that might have been by design in certain ways. That Triple H had this as the last show of the weekend, so it's already gonna be the lasting impression that gets last for this weekend. You have several matches on the card. I think it was like 6 or 7, and it presented a whole bunch of women's talent that you had in a really great way. The opening match was great. Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria, Bayley. What a match. So fun. Those 3 women have so much chemistry together, and, everybody's great in their own right. And that was a great match. And what an opener. That crowd was really invested into that. Then you had Jordynne Grace going up against JC Jane for the NXT Championship with Blake Monroe, formerly Mariah May, in her corner. I thought this was a little weird considering they basically have the same story that Mariah May had with Toni Storm here, just in shorter fashion. So Blake Monroe turns on Jordynne Grace, and so we're going to get a feud out of that. But really speaks to the depth of the women's talent, right? If you're having Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe on NXT, it's wow. It's like, but then you also have this multi-women's tag match, that 4-way tag match, which was awesome. So awesome. What a moment in time for Sol Ruca. I thought she was amazing. It's funny. She looks like you peeled her right out of the late 70s or 80s, as one of these models and stuff, that she conveys such a unique persona and look about her. The ceiling is extremely high for her. And props to Charlotte Flair for just coming out there like a house on fire, fired up. The crowd was really behind her in this. That teaming with her and Alexa is great. It's like an odd couple that frenemies, basically. They get along, and you're kind of seeing them slowly get along with one another and enjoy each other and tagging with each other. So that was really, really cool. I thought it was a really great match. Really great match. You had obviously the main event. Let's not take away too from the no DQ match or the no holds barred match between Jade Cargill, Naomi, was setting up a tease for a lot of what was not even a tease. Trying to pull the wool over your eyes about what was going to happen later on, which was great. A great move to do. So Jade, gets the win after what is that move called that she does? I know she has her own name for it, but it was called something Widowmaker. The Widowmaker, I think it was. Who used to do that? Was it Victoria? But got dead it off the top of your table, and she gets the win. And then you also had Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus, which was great. Like, man, Trish can still go in a short fashion, but it was great. Like, I think Tiffany looked awesome, and she got the clean win, really a statement win. So really, really good stuff. And then the main event was wow, just awesome. It's just like Io Sky, Rhea Ripley have two of the best, arguably, they could be arguably in your top 10 wrestlers. Like Io Sky, you can make an argument for being the best wrestler going right now. And then Rhea Ripley is obviously great. So it's just, she's got the great look. She's got the complete package Rhea Ripley does. And so putting them in your main event and having them just go toe-to-toe, duke it out, false finishes, the ref bump, fighting on the outside, and then just the complete shock of Naomi cashing in. Just really a statement for the pay-per-view and made it feel like a big deal. Also, the Battle Royal. Jeez, the Battle Royal. How could I even forget about that? Honestly, one of my all-time favorite Battle Royals. I put it up there with the All-In Battle Royal, the original All-In Battle Royal, as how fun it was. I'm also biased towards the 1993 Raw Battle Royal, where Razor Ramon earned his Intercontinental Championship shot, simply because I'm a huge Razor Ramon fan, and that happened, so I'm all for that. But like the story elements coming into play, people got spotlight. It felt like what you look for in a Royal Rumble is like some storylines being played into, people getting their spotlight and their chance in the sun. And like, I thought all these women made the most of it. And Stephanie McKeer winning the whole thing was great. So felt like a big deal and was really, really happy with it. Yeah, this show stole the weekend. You know, All In was a great pay-per-view, just too long. And just aspects of it, you know, in like the environment, obviously being in such a huge stadium was really, really cool. And so it felt like a big deal. It really did. But like the length is what kills it. It's for anybody to sit through what it was like. Fans sat there for like 8 hours. That's a work shift. So like, that's pretty wild. And yeah, it's great matches, long matches. You have to be that ardent fan to really like just be all, pun not intended, all in on this. And so I think that's just a strike against it right away, is the length of the show. Whereas, you know, this, I think Evolution probably ran maybe about like 2.5, 3 hours. So a good lengthy show, but you know, didn't overstay its welcome. You know, then Saturday night's main event, I mean, I thought was a really, really great show too. I thought all these shows were great this week, to be honest. I really did. You know, and they all came from their own way of doing it. I thought, like, you know, you getting the glitz and glam and the entertainment from Saturday night's main event. So you're getting Goldberg and Gunther, which Goldberg had an interesting interview with Errol Hawani. Might be talking about that on tomorrow's rendition of the Hotline. But like, so you get the entertainment aspect, the big chunk of that out of Saturday's main event. You get your wrestling and your all that kind of action and your alternate choice out of AEW and All In. So there's that. And then you get a little melding of both and a unique style with all women, PLE and Evolution. And it made me think about too how it's just like, if you just had this as a PLE, like Evolution, like all these women wrestlers, it's just like, it's wrestling. It feels like wrestling. It doesn't feel like, oh, this is a women's wrestling show. It felt like a wrestling show. And I think that is the great goal of it. Is like, yeah, like you don't miss a beat. It so happens that all these wrestlers were women, and it was a great show. It was just a wrestling show, which is awesome. So props to them. And props to WWE for what was a fun weekend. Props to AEW too. You know, it's a long show, but man, those matches were great, and everybody put their heart and soul into it. So, what a weekend, man! Craziness, just wild stuff. And thought there was something else I was going to say in regards to. Oh, but I can just imagine, like, I always think about this from a sports perspective. So, like, yeah, the way Evolution wasn't getting promotion that as much, they weren't getting story builds as much. Well, guess what? That's going to create. If you're Tom Brady, you get drafted in the 6th round, chip on your shoulder. Those women had something to wrestle for sure. And, maybe they were thinking about that. And maybe that was intentional, like I said, by WWE. Hey, let's give them some motivation by, like, not doing this promotion. That we're confident that they can do it and get it out there. And boom, sure enough, they delivered. So there you go. And I can also imagine, I think there was a group picture online of everybody that worked at Evolution. I can imagine Triple H, like, getting everybody before the show being like, listen, this is your guys' chance to close out the weekend in a big way. And we have confidence in you. And I think that's all they needed. You didn't need the story. You didn't need build. I mean, that helps. And you got some of it. But, like, these women delivered on what was a really, really fun show. And stories were told on that show. So it did feel meaningful. So there we go. And there's the hotline for today. Be sure to check out other content that we have on here from the Brass Ring News Show with Tyler Sage and Zach Haydorn. And be sure to, if you're interested, become a Patreon member. Go to patreon.com/brassringmedia. Zach does a great job on that wall. I got to do some stuff behind the scenes with them too, as well, when it comes to that. As far as anything else goes, subscribe to rvdtv.com. Help me out. Do me a favor and check it out. I got some clips of Fonzie's latest episode on there. And RVD, I got that special Sabu super special going on where Rob and I cover the stretcher match. That was episode 17 we did of one of mine. And then we also talk about WrestlePalooza 1998. That's episode 3, the 3rd episode me and Rob ever did together. So you can see how our correspondence was back then compared to now. See if it's changed and what you feel about it. But fun stuff. And thank you all for tuning in for today's Daily Wrestling Hotline. And always remember to call 1-900-909-9900.